Ladies and gentlemen, the conflict between Iran and Israel has just taken another turn. There are tears in Israel. There are tears. There are tears. Yes. On this June 15, 2025, it is exactly 11:30 p.m. GMT, and Israel is reporting a massive cyber attack against its entire system, but more specifically against its air raid system. Yes, just as it happened in 2022. It's a repeat, but this time at a very high level. Iranian hackers have infiltrated the brain of the Israeli system. They have wrecked everything. The Israeli drones that are smart, the missiles that are smart, are all controlled by a system. And it is this system that Iran has just invaded, Maranatha. Ladies and gentlemen, it's laughable, it's pitiful, because we're talking about lives, we're talking about peace in this world. The situation is becoming very catastrophic. In this video conference, of course, that's what we're going to talk about. But before we continue, as usual, I humbly ask you to share the video conference. Give it lots of likes, and above all, leave your opinions in the comments. And always remember, for all the new people, please subscribe. These interactions motivate me. That's what gives me the courage to keep providing you with real-time information, accurate information, and rare information that will be confirmed for you. That is to say, when I share information here, you need to wait at least 24 hours or 6 hours afterwards to receive confirmation. In other words, so that the media, the other media you know, can talk about it. Give lots of likes. Let's go. Let's go deeper. A hacker group linked to Iran has announced that they launched cyber attacks. They admitted that they carried out large-scale cyber attacks on the Siren website. Yes, from the Hebrew state, Israeli media claim that Israel's air defense system was hacked. Yes, and they're upset. Can you imagine how serious this is? Can you imagine what could happen next? The air defense system, right? The air defense system was hacked. The sirens that give alerts were hacked. Israel experienced the same thing in 2022. It's a repeat. So, is this just a way for them to justify their crushing and imminent defeat? Is this a way? Because, hacked or not, the Israeli air defense system is incapable and notoriously ineffective. The whole world has noticed it ever since these reciprocal strikes began. We all see the images. So, let's go deeper, ladies and gentlemen. It might just be an argument, but the truth is that Iran operates the way Russia does. Let's go. So what should we say at this point? Well, and one of the main targets of these hackers is the sirens, the warning sirens in Israel on this 15th of June. The sirens are those devices that blare, that alert when they detect a missile or a drone. They go off loudly. Do you hear that? Whoa. That means everyone has to take cover. The Israelis have developed an app. All citizens have it. As soon as there's an alert, it also rings on your phone. They tell you to take cover. This system that gives you information, that's what the Iranians made useless. They made it go haywire. Now, it doesn't work properly anymore. So, they targeted the alert systems. And they made it so that these sirens would mostly go off. That is, it goes off. It rings when there's nothing happening. So it triggers false alarms. Yes. Meanwhile, there is nothing. people take shelter. Just as they are getting ready to go out, at that moment, the demon from Iran, the monster, arrives. Do you hear? Be. And in the end, we see what we see as a result. So, according to official information, hacker groups linked to Iran have claimed responsibility for carrying out these cyber attacks against Israeli siren systems, alert systems, and other defense infrastructures. That means including the air raid systems, which allows Israel to intercept missiles, which also allows Israel to launch certain drones and certain missiles. The claim was, of course, made, and it is a large-scale cyber attack on the siren sites of the entity. The reported impacts from Israeli media mentioned attempts to hack air defense systems. They, on their side, call it an attempt. However, the hacker group claims that they have already hacked them. And so they say, attempt to hack air defense systems or their components, which suggests that the cyber attacks were aimed at disrupting or compromising Israel's ability to manage alerts or even its defense during an attack. The goal is to sow confusion and potentially hinder Israel's response. So that's their objective, to sow confusion. To hinder, that is to thwart Israel's response. These recent incidents are part of a shadow war. This is what is called the long-standing cyber shadow war between the two nations. So this has existed between the two nations for a very long time. And it intensifies, especially during periods of open conflict. Yes. So here is what Israel is currently experiencing. And I have to say, it's still very pitiful. When Iran develops such capabilities, what can Israel do? It's similar to what Russia does to the West. When they are ready, they hack the system. Even the French National Assembly, its website was hacked. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top international news story. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I'll be back with more news for you shortly. This was the voice of your one and only Samurai.